let's jump into some other shit here. So let's talk about Star Wars. Star Wars this week, we had some interesting news. So I'll just read you this excerpt here. The Rise of Skywalker ends with Rey discovering that she, and spoiler alert for somehow if you haven't seen the Rise of Skywalker yet. Rey discovering she is the granddaughter of Palpatine. The reveal hinted at Palpatine having a lover who gave birth to a child, but the novelization of the film confirms that is not the case. After Palpatine's apparent death in Return of the Jedi, he thrust his consciousness into a clone body, but the transfer was imperfect. Various members of the Sith worked to create a host for Palpatine's consciousness, but not all of those bodies were successful. One of the failed hosts was useless and powerless and not quite an identical clone of the Sith Lord. The clone body was not strong enough to host Palpatine, but it was strong enough to live a life and become Rey's father. There's a lot of like fallout on Twitter about this. Oh my God, Star Wars is the dumbest film, or Rise of Skywalker is the dumbest film, of the series or whatever. What do you think about it?
First of all, I think the disappointment in the Rise of the Skywalker film is just misplaced. Like, the film was great. It was a great movie. It was a stellar ending to the Skywalker saga.
You know what? We feel that way, right? Because I feel that way as well. But there's an overwhelming presence online that people really hate this film.
Yeah, and now,
especially like the diehard Star Wars fan.
Yeah, granted, am I a diehard Star Wars fan? No. And sometimes when you're too close to the thing, you can't really. You have emotions about it that you don't even really understand, right?
You know what I feel like that with? I remember when the show Angel ended, and I remember everybody else was like, "Yeah, whatever, it's cool," and I was like. Why? And it ended like that? It's not enough, and I just remember it being like, no, we need another season.
And because most people can look at it generally, generally, was it a good show? Was the storytelling good? Was the direction good? Like, do I feel fulfilled by what I saw? But when you're too close to the thing, it's like, even if you get something really good, it's like, I'm closer to the thing. I want more. I expected more. I have high expectations, or I was disappointed in this. This wasn't clear, right? You start overanalyzing. I think that's what's happening here. But I will say that there is truth to the fact that in the Rise of the Skywalker film,
or the Skywalker.
What did I say?
Something else.
Skywalker?
In the Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah. What did I say?
I don't know.
Something crazy?
You sounded wild.
In the Rise of the Skywalker film, right? Yeah. One of the things that was a disappointment for me was never having gotten clarity on who Rey's parents were.
We did get clarity.
They just told us that her parents are just people, right? They're Palpatine's son, I believe.
Yes.
And then they were just people, and they died. But it was Rey who carried on the power or the force or whatever the fuck it is. But no, it's like they couldn't have been just people, right?
They were definitely just people.
Tell us who they were. At least tell us their names. Something.
I don't care, bro. We had 18 films that say, hey, whatever, it's fine.
At least for me, that was disappointing. I'm like, okay, who were they?
Sure. But with this sort of, what I don't agree with though is this switch. If you're going to commit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want all this half stepping of I guess now it's. I guess he was a clone, and I guess he had put his consciousness into another. It's like, come on, don't try to I think this is what happens when you really do try to fan service, meaning that you hear people complain, and then you try to correct whatever their complaint is. That Palpatine wouldn't have had a son, and he wouldn't have banged anybody. And then you try to correct it with, he forget that he put his consciousness in somebody else when he was about to die, and it's just no, just stick with the original. Look, I would have, we
already saw the play.
Look, just put a pornographic novel of Palpatine out, show the explicit details of how he banged somebody,
who let Palpatine bust it down.
Yikes.
Who let that man?
Is he the true first Harvey Weinstein of it?
Well, he definitely paid for it.
No, he definitely didn't pay for it.
These empire coins.
He definitely used the Force or something, because it wasn't nobody.
He had to give a whole ship or something like that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give you the ship so you can get the fuck out of here afterwards.
Yeah. No, I mean, I really do feel like that's really wholly like unnecessary. You don't need to do all that shit in order to like service people. You go with whatever. And honestly, I wouldn't have felt even in the first place if they were to like be like, oh, like he put his conscience in somebody else. Okay, that's the original story you gave me. Good, whatever. Let's move on. Like, there's no need to go back now. No, like, okay, so no matter how you feel like about the thing, I respect your ability to commit to that thing. Like, when you start trying to play all these sort of like, maybe it was this, maybe it was that, I don't know. Like, that's when I'm like, this is stupid now. Like, now, because now you don't know what the fuck you want to do. Now you're just, it's like, if we were like, hey, let's go out tonight, right? And then all of a sudden we started looking at each other like, where do you want to go? And we're both like, I don't know. Let's go this place. Let's go that place. And it's like, just fuck it. Just pick a goddamn place. I don't give a fuck where you. Just pick the goddamn place. It's just like commit to the thing.
I don't know, bro. I like a little bit of variety. So, right. So you know how like you have barbecue sauce, right? You got the original recipe.
Our metaphors are the dumbest.
Listen, follow me down this dark path.
Okay.
Listen, you got the barbecue sauce. You got your original recipe. Okay.
Sure.
And you got the Memphis, Tennessee, the smoky barbecue sauce, right?
Okay.
Then you got the habanero, right? But then you got brown sugar honey barbecue sauce, right? Sweet and tangy, right? That might be what you're getting here. You've got the film version of, hey, this is the story that was told in the cinematic version of this last Skywalker film. But then you have the, I believe this is like the novelization.
Yeah, the novelization. I always have problems with that word too.
Yeah,
I heard you wanting to make it audible there.
Yeah,
but
I don't know if they novelized the movie.
You see how you committed?
I did.
To saying
I didn't quit. I didn't stop. I found a way.
You didn't alter the story.
No.
You stuck with it. Yeah.
So, but like, there's like, so you got the cinematic version, you got the novelization version, right? And
Sure.
it's like, you can still enjoy both. Like, hey, I saw this one and I'm like reading this.
No, because
it's like an alternate ending to a movie.
Stupid. Okay, if you're gonna give me an alternate ending, give me the alternate ending. Don't fucking put it in a novel and be like, this is the actual shit that went down. Like, no, like just
it is an alternate ending, just in a different form, right? Now, so at the end of Star Wars, at the end of Rise of Skywalker, if you waited after the credits and they gave you an alternate ending, would you have been okay with that? Yeah, you would have, because it would have been like
no, because you already gave me the ending. If you're creating a novel based on the movie and you create a different ending in the novel than you do the movie, it's different if it's the reverse, right? If you have a novel and in the movie you come out with a different like ending, okay, because you want to be a little different, you want to spice things up a bit. But if you already came out with a movie and now you're giving more context to the movie by creating a novel of it, no, I don't want to fucking see a stupid different ending, because it like you can't have like multiple versions of that novel ending, right? Like this isn't a choose your own adventure book. Like
true, that's funny, but I think that you're getting, I don't know, I think Star Wars fans should be fine with this. You should, if not, be happier. Like, you kind of get to choose which ending you prefer. Like, do you like the novelization ending,
that's
or
what
do you like the cinematic
that's
ending?
What they're trying to do. But the fact is that they're trying to please people who are simply never going to be pleased. They're like, and look, if you're a Star Wars fanatic and you've watched this video, you hit the dislike button 18 times, comment below, tell us what you would have liked to have seen with the fucking Star Wars film. What would have pleased you?
Because it seems like Star Wars fans, like, they have a very specific want, and it's like, just tell us at this point. Just tell us what that want
exactly,
because you got a really good movie, and I would imagine the novels are really good.
To them, they did not get a really good movie. But what I would ask is that instead of complaining about, like, what people like to do is create negative comments about, oh, they shouldn't have did this, they shouldn't have did that.
What should they have
done? Come up with something that would have been better.
Rewrite the script and release it for us.
That would be better.
But anyway, I do think that in this film, right, in this ending to the Star Wars saga, now you have two options. You can enjoy the cinematic version. You can enjoy the novelization. I'll keep wanting to say the novelized version.
Yeah. I'll accept that as well. Yeah.
You got two versions. It is just like an alternate ending. That's the way I view it.
Yeah. Fair enough.